she's just a fabulous human being that I've come to know, like a lot of the people who are here. All right, so let's talk about that video. Somebody, I think it was Tencho, asked in the comment section below the fire ceremony video, can you explain this? And I realized, oh yeah, I should explain that. So, an amazing human being came here for a private journey, private healing session. Arrived here, I think, on the 9th. So here was the setup. I've done a couple of readings for that person, and I don't have permission to say the name. So I'm just going to sort of talk around that, okay? So this person came. We've had a couple of readings. Has been like everybody going through a lot of transformation, and what's happening is that there is this person, I believe, having had my energetic interactions, that person is a very powerful shamanistic type of energy that reincarnated here in order to be present for the moments of 2018 and going forward, and actually literally was experiencing their karmic return. And so has a stellium. This person has a stellium, a lot of planets in Scorpio. So let's see, born a natal Scorpio, has Venus and Jupiter and I think Mars, and I can't even remember, like this huge list of a stellium in Scorpio. So when it came time for the retrograde, the Scorpio new moon was on the 7th, the day before this person's birthday. If you can imagine the intensity of that energy. So we did another session online using Skype or FaceTime or something, and sort of came to the awareness that it was time to release the wounding that this person came in to have in order to go through life with, in order to learn what was meant to be learned, to come to the moment of releasing. And the moment was during the energy of the new moon in Scorpio and coming through 11-11-11, which we just had. So on sort of a very short time frame, we both decided, okay, let's do it. And it was an amazing experience. And what I'm learning is, it just is. There is something that happens when people come here and step into the portal. And actually, I'm going to transition back. So that picture is a picture from the top of what's literally known as Putney Mountain. It is the Hawk Watch Summit. And so in the spring and fall, the raptors that travel back and forth from north to south for winter and spring groundings travel through the ridge lines in Vermont. And there's a place where you can hike up to the top and you're kind of able to see the place where the ridge lines roll together. And there are days when you can sit up there and hundreds of eagles and all different kinds of hawks and raptors fly through, and you can just literally watch the migration. It's an amazing place. So, so this person came, lives in New York City, just so you all know, Spirit saying, just so everybody knows, if you're in the New York City area, you can take a train almost all the way here, and it's cheap and it's pretty fast. So I think this person got on a train in Penn Station, and 4 hours later was in Brattleboro, which is the next town over. So I just went and did a pickup at the train station. So what happened was the person came in the house. I helped them settle in. I'm trying not to identify gender just for privacy reasons. I helped them settle in and said, why don't you go on up to your bedroom and just have some quiet time, and when you're ready, come on down. And I was cooking dinner. And I don't know, maybe half an hour later, this person came down and looked at me and said, I can already feel that something momentous is happening. And I feel as though the energy here is literally reordering the energy inside of me, and was sort of expressing that it felt like a tuning fork and could feel the energy, etc. So well, let's see. Spirit says we did what we did, meaning that anyone who comes here, when you come into this portal, it will attune itself with your energy, and your personal journey will unfold in the way that it's right for you. So let me transition back. So I don't do a cookie cutter thing. First we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and we're going to do something else. And I was talking with somebody else about this the other day who had gone to a shamanic retreat and just came away feeling like it was not exactly what they needed. And I understand if you're trying to offer something to the public at large, you have to have a little bit of a pathway. So Spirit's telling me my pathway is chaos. Meaning chaos theory, right? So people are meant to come here to be reordered energetically for a particular type of healing that has to do with the energy that radiates through me, that I have the ability to provide people with. It is a very, okay, Spirit saying the word radiant again. So it's a type of radiant energy that has a lot to do with Uranus type of energy, and literally uranium type of energy, the energy of the sun, etc. So I personally have learned over many years that I am a catalyst, and that the energy that streams through me is utilized for balancing. So over many, many years, I've been learning how to utilize that, how to wield it. Spirit says that a lot. You sort of have to learn what your my spirit guides call it what your superpower is, sort of just kind of making it a little bit fun. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? And my daughter and I laugh about this all the time. And I swear it's true. This is a little bit of an aside. When she comes here, and it's been true since she was a little girl, when she's around and she leaves, I will look around and then I look down like at the counter or on I use my grandmother's table to do all the readings and the live streams. And there's a pencil sitting here. I don't have pencils. I don't use them. And every time she's here, a pencil appears. We haven't figured out exactly what that's about yet. I tend to think that maybe she's meant to do some channeled writing. I haven't said it yet because I don't want to scare her. But she manifests pencils. So it's something to do with communication, right? So anyway, this person comes in the house in this incredible energetic moment, and was so that energetic being, who is, I know with sort of clarity, reincarnated, a very powerful shaman, a very powerful healer, here to release the karmic, Spirit's calling the karmic injury that this person came in to walk with and to experience and to utilize until the moment came when they were ready to cast it off. So we had an amazing, energetic experience that was able to form itself, Spirit saying, form itself around this person's energy in order to capture it and help it begin to vibrate in a different way. And so when the person went upstairs and got settled and came down in about a half an hour, said, looked at me and said, I can feel something happening inside of me. It's like there's a tuning fork inside of me, and I can feel my energy literally realigning, and the healing has already started. So we just followed that. And when you come to Moonrise Cottage for that kind of a journey, that's what you will experience in part. So I utilize my shamanic healing tools on an individual basis based on what you actually need. And there are some things that I try to have everyone to be available for each person that comes, and to make their experience as deep as possible and gentle and Spirit saying and pervasive all at the same time. I'm not here to shock you into something, right? So little by little, the wound, the internal healing began, and the wound began to coalesce and coalesce and coalesce and coalesce. And the last night before this person had to go back to New York, um, I had some dreams, which often happens at night, especially when somebody's here with me. Had some dreams about what needed to happen going forward. And I got up early and I brought my Agnihotra setup, which is just a little urn used for fire ceremonies. It's a very sacred, very ancient fire ceremony. Um, and I just brought it down and I set it down on the lower shelf of one of the tables downstairs. And we had made this mask, and the intention was to capture, my intention was to capture the shamanic energy that this person was carrying, and that fact that it was buried under the karmic wound. And so I um, thought, well, we'll make a mask so that you can see yourself. And in fact, actually, you know what? Let me toggle back to that picture for a second. I want to show you. I'm going to go and grab the mask, so you're going to hear my voice walk away for a second. Because I want to show you some of my masks, just so you know. Because over the years of my shamanic training and my self-development, all the adventures that I've had that have brought me forward to this place in my life, and I hope this doesn't scare you. I'm going to show you some of this stuff. Mask making has been central to me being able to understand myself, the things that I carry inside of me that none of us show to the outside world, right? And my feeling was always like this, it's a secret, okay? So here's one of my masks. This is literally just a mask of my face, okay? See that? That's, there it says, that's me, that's the place from which I travel out into the universe, right? And I've always, some part of me wants to decorate this mask. And my spirits, the guides always say, no, don't do that. You need to see yourself this way. So, it's just, Spirit says, it's just blank face. It's just me without the human overlay. So we made this mask. And what happened actually was the mask ended up being a photograph of the psychic wounding, the emotional wounding, the karmic wound that this person utilized to develop their very intense shamanic abilities, properties, internal knowing, I think. So one of the conversations we had was, when it became clear to me what was happening, I said, so, there's the story of Harry Potter. And he was in danger in the storyline, and he had to be hidden and he had to be protected until it was time for him to come out. And so he spent his life, the first, half of his young life, I think until he was 12 in that story, living with people who hated him, literally locked in a closet. And all the things that you take on and that you think about yourself, and that the type of emotional wound that many of us develop when we go through those types of experiences. And as you know, if you know anything about psychology, often we just turn it inward, don't we? And we think there's something wrong with us. And we don't understand what is wrong with the people around us. And all those that's what went through my mind as I was a kid growing up with the things that I was dealing with. And then that's our set point. And then you go through the rest of your life, most of us, making unconscious decisions about other people, about our interactions, about life in general, about who we are, and interacting with ourselves through that prism of erroneous understanding. So the mask came out, and it was literally the picture of the moment when the wound happened. And it was terrifying to look at. And it looked kind of skull-like. It looked like someone who was, Spirit's talking about, it was a blast wound. It was a picture of the moment of impact when this blast that wounded this person's heart, mind, psyche, chakras, etc. And we both looked at it and thought, ooh, and it was very fragile. As it turns out, it wasn't able to be handled very well. So it took a day and a half for it to actually dry so that we could even touch it. And then I had brought my fire ceremony. I had a dream about a fire ceremony, so I thought I'll bring my fire ceremony um, accoutrement, Spirit says, downstairs, and I'll just put it there. And the person who was here got up the next morning. We were getting ready to head for the train station, and I said, "Well, what do you want to do with this? Do you want to put it? I'll try to find a way to put it in a box so you can carry it home. It's really fragile. Um, you want to decorate it? What do you want to do?" And the response is, "I want to burn it. It's time for this to be done." See how I'm getting choked up again? God, it was so beautiful and so intense. So we put the mask in my Agnihotra vessel and burned it. And it's just a little bit of paper mache and gauze. And it did flame right up. And then it actually burned, half of the face burned away and then broke. And then the other half was lying flat in the bowl. And as you saw, if you saw that video, it just slowly, things got really intense. It was an intense flame for a few minutes, so much smoke that I had to open all the doors and windows. It filled up the house, the smoke. And there's no way that that smoke came just from that little tiny piece of paper mache because it was very thin. So that was the first indication to me that, oh, something's really happening here. So I thought, well, let's let it out. So I opened up the doors, I opened up the windows, we let the smoke out, and then when the intense part of the smoke, the release finished, we closed everything up because it's cold out, and then things got really quiet, and we started to talk to each other in whispers, and we were just chatting a little bit. It took a long time. And then, as you saw, finally, the energy of that wound began to become visible. And the spot, on this side of the face near the ear, which is where the burning was, the last embers of the wound were being released, was really significant based on some things that, again, I'm not at liberty to share with you about this part of the physical being. So the way that happened and the types of conversations that came out and the retuning that happened for this person while they were here, and again, the energy gets very intense. When people come in the house for a healing, it's as if this place knows that somebody's here, and right away it begins to entwine itself, I think, internally with people, and then I get drawn very deeply into my own shamanic healing abilities that come to me through my set point as a human being. So I have several different identities that I've become aware of over the time that I've been sitting here in this house, kind of like that. I just separated myself from society. So I think I mentioned this in the first try today. I'm going to do another live stream about the notion of coming into yourself and preparing to go forward in that journey as we prepare to go forward in 2019 and understand the new way in which we stand, because we are going to move into what people call the 4D. My spirit guides have been talking about the use of the tapestry and the activation, so we're going to go there. Definitely, okay? So this notion of crow shamanism, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but that mask that you saw in the background, that's one of my shamanistic identities, and it's really intense, and I know it can look really scary, and depending on your belief system, it can really scare the crap out of you. But it's basically about the ability to transition back and forth to the mystical realm, and to have a certain particular kind of vision that comes from that place, and vision that comes from this place, and how I've been taught and learned to utilize the crow energy, and that's why I put the picture of the Morrigan here. So I believe it's, for me, sort of a blending of my male and female and my Aries and Virgo blended together. And it's part of the reason that I've been sequestered this long, because it took me a long time to grow into it. I've had it for many years, and I've been doing ceremonies here for many years, and people have been coming here and having journeys with me for over a long period of time. But I was still needing to be cloaked and needing to be in hiding. And I think that if I understand it correctly, hang on one second. If I understand what's happening correctly, it's time for all of us to begin to come out of the closet. And so there are a lot of people who are beginning to reveal themselves out of the tapestry, Spirit says. They are becoming revealed to themselves, and they are feeling the emergence of this energy. And many of us need some healing in order to emerge fully into ourselves, so that we can take our place in the tapestry and continue the unfolding of the energy that's coming through, that's meant to move us into what we've been calling, or people call, especially on the internet, 4D and 5D and all that. So Spirit wants me to talk about that. So I have been just looking at my software because I'm feeling paranoid. I'm going to switch back over to YouTube so I can see the chat. So hi, Rosa. All right, let's see. I'm just going to look at the chat, see what you folks have been talking about. Okay, Marie Antoinette, you're talking about, you notice that healing is with fire and air, and the raven black feather, which symbolizes the alchemical artwork. Yes, doesn't it? So with, for me as a person, when I began to understand that what part of my pathway was to walk with other people. And literally, because of the way the energy flows through me, my job in this lifetime is to be that type of a shamanistic guide to accompany people back and forth from the mystical realm, because I have the ability to do it. And that's why I was given this place. It's why I needed to isolate myself for so long and not speak. So to me, these things were very secret and very sacred, and I haven't spoken about them. I haven't declared myself. And I feel as though there's a particular, we all have our gifts, don't we? In terms of what is available through us to ourselves, to the people around us, and to the collective, which my spirit guides call the tapestry. So I had a ceremony many years back, and the mask was reflective of the artwork. If you guys have seen the pictures of the outside of my house, there are some shamanic symbols there. They come from the runes and some other places, sacred symbols about male power and female power. And I was well aware that, in my opinion, the way into wholeness was to walk between those two things and understand the fullness of each of them. And that's how I do my life. As a Virgo, the feminine side, the soft, quiet, feminine side of myself. And then there's the Aries, right? The Ram, the fire bearer. And I just want to push forward all the time and don't even think about getting in my way, because I will have none of that. So that's how I experience myself. And if you look at my house, it took me a long time to realize, the outside of the house looks like a fortress. In a sense, it's just standing there really strong. Almost like, hand to the world, like, don't mess with me. But when you open the door and you come inside, there's something else that's happening. And I believe that my understanding of the Morrigan, the shamaness, the Queen of Battle, is that she was there to protect me, because I needed protection, because there was so much going on the inside, and it was a place that I was vulnerable to injury. So I've had 20 years to develop myself, and then I had to be coaxed out, and that's what spirit guides are saying. That's what people are experiencing now. We come to a moment where, especially in 2018, we've been coaxed out of hiding, and we begin to feel ourselves, and we begin to understand that it's time for those parts of our nature, the deep spiritual part of our nature, to be on the surface and to be perhaps quietly, but declared, so that we're available to each other. So I've had an intense rebalancing um, and a healing of one of my wounds that have been going on for a long, long time. And I'll tell you about it a little bit if you want to hear it. I don't want to just blah, blah, blah. So let me just look at the chat for a moment. Let's see. Darlene, you're releasing. Yeah, oh my gosh, so much going on. India, I'm reading your message. Jupiter in its own sign in the ninth house. That's the other thing that I've been saying. Okay, so this retrograde, what a gift. How beautiful to be pulled that deep. In order to be reordered, like Spirit's talking about, to come back to the surface for balancing and then hand the energy to Sag. So, if you've been following along and you look at my readings, they got really long because Spirit told me to put the cohorts together so that people could see how the energy moves through the cohort so that we could understand how that then we hand it off depending on the season, depending on what month it is. So there's a lot going on with that. Spirit wants us to understand, and I think because we're in retrograde, when I do the December readings, I've been waiting. I'm going to start, I think, tomorrow. I'm going to go back to how I used to do it. I've been missing my camera. So I'm going to do a little retrograde thing just to break it down for people so the readings aren't so long. And then we're going to go forward, I think, like that into 2019 with some more discussion about the energy and the movement. So let's see. Summer solstice time. Oh, okay. Ingrid, are you talking about coming here perhaps in the next summer? Hi, Rosa. All right, let me scroll down. So, I think that Spirit has been preparing us. Definitely, my spirit guides have been preparing me to come out of the closet. It's one of the reasons I got pushed into YouTube, is that I was not meant to be hidden anymore, and I really enjoyed my cloak. I enjoyed being invisible. I always wondered, like, what do you, Spirit, what do you want me to do with this stuff? I'm so clairvoyant that it's, the thing that I experience when I travel with people, it just happens automatically. I don't ask for it. Spirit brings people. That's the way it used to work. Spirit would just have people show up. And so there's another person who just kind of showed up at my door the other day. It's one of the things that's been happening over the years that I've been here. So the energy is attractive in terms of people feel it, and whoever's meant to have a healing, they come. So now I'm on YouTube, and it's time for me to step out. And so I'm doing that as bravely as I can, and making this place available and wanting to share with you the purpose for making this place available. And I think we're meant to co-create together what's going to happen going forward. Certainly, I'm going to continue to be doing what I'm meant to be doing. So here's the thing, and I diverted myself, I'm sorry. So we went through this retrograde, we went through this year, and now, yes, Jupiter, and I think Venus, right? We've moved into the realm of Sagittarius. So the fire part of our nature. And Sagittarius is all about, having fun, etc., but it's about healing and teaching and helping move things forward in a really deep spiritual way through its own fire power. So I love that we've gone from this really deep retrograde into an active principle as we take the energy and the burning that it's created inside of us with all this reordering in order to burn away the past, because we're still in a retrograde. There's something really significant, according to my spirit guides, about that. So understand the energy, play with YouTube, learn as much as you can about it, and the fact that it is time for a fire ceremony. So, if you're feeling that you want to burn away the past in a loving, gentle, pervasive way, make yourself a fire ceremony. I know a lot of people live, in cities and apartments. You can do it. Just be careful not to set off the smoke alarm. But there are lots of ways to do that with candles, over, Spirit's saying, over the course of a couple of days, you can buy yourself a giant candle, one of those pillar candles, and just, okay, Spirit's talking about doing prayers and incantations and using the candle to send things forward and be released. Um, so Venus, yes, Marie Antoinette, Venus is still in Libra, but the energy is, when we move into Sagittarius, there's another huge shift that's going on. And it's because we are coming into that season, so to speak. Even though we are, I believe we're still in Scorpio for a couple of more days, right? And then I believe then we move into Sag, and then that transitions in the end of December into Capricorn, which is having its karmic return in a sense, because the shift and change in the Capricorn energy, with Pluto being there in the first house, there's a lot of change coming forward. And you guys know more about astrology than I do. I get downloads from my spirit guides about the actual energy pathway and why it's happening the way it is. So let's see. Just curious, what signs are your natal nodes? I have no idea because I don't follow astrology. I've been so deep across my whole life in the psychic thing, I haven't paid attention to it. So it's a good question. I should find out, right? How do I find out? I suppose I Google that. So, India, it's that 18-year cycle, I believe. You're correct. There's significance there because it was 18 years ago that I started building this house. It was when I stepped into that part of my fruition. I couldn't deny myself in a sense, and I didn't tell anybody what exactly I was doing, but the shaman people kept showing up here, helping me, and dowsing the land with me, and the crows would come, and that's why I have a crow mask. So I went through this incredible ceremony. I had a couple of initiations. I kept going deeper and deeper, and getting in touch with the energy here in this property. And I knew that I was literally terrified. I used to come up here and stay. I did a couple of vision quests before, while it was just woods, and it was frightening to me because the energy was so intense. And it was in the year 2000 that I knew I had to start building. I had to leave my husband. I had to break up my family. Like, you get these notions, and on the surface, it looks crazy, and people do those things, and everybody stands around and goes, tisk, tisk, tisk. That person's off their rocker. That's how probably it looked. Because when it was time to sever that relationship, it was meant to sever. And I did. I went to the courthouse on my birthday and filed for a legal separation and came home and handed it to my husband and said, "We're done. I'm done. I'm out." It was really intense. And so I've been carrying a wound from that, and I felt intensely unloved. And it hurt me in a way that was really profound. And I had to sort of stand up. I mean, part of that journey was I had to stand up and say, well, you know what? I'm not willing to be in a relationship that feels like this. And we had a child together, and that's a girl. And I'm not willing to raise a young woman up in this energetic environment. So I'm out. I didn't want to do it, which it hurt. I hurt myself. I hurt my ex-husband really deeply because I really believed he didn't love me. And you know what? Okay, so now I'm going to tell that story. You guys want to hear it? So I just figured out that all of my suppositions, that's why Spirit was talking about Harry Potter, all the things I thought were true, I was wrong. And it was during Venus in retrograde that I had this epiphany. And when Spirit's talking about it's a color purple kind of moment, and it's not because there was no violence, there was none of that, but human emotional tragedy, and then years and years and years go by, and you come to a place of peace. That's what Spirit's talking about. So, talking about karmic returns, right? Okay, so India, 18. Yeah, tell me, oh, they just sold the pearl owned by India. I'm reading your messages. Yeah. I don't know. Anyone who knows about that stuff, tell me, because I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research. And in fact, the person who was just here knows a lot about astrology. And it'll be interesting to see what evolves between us, because spirits told me we're going to work together somehow. Maybe not all the time, but there are some things that are unfolding because I'm stepping out. I've been terrified to show people, this stuff, this part of me, and I have more of these. Okay, I have. I've had a lot of journeys. I've had a lot of stuff go on over the years while I've been hiding inside of myself and hiding in the woods and just wanting to be alone because there was so much going on that I had to grow into it, I think. So, let's see. Okay, India, I'm reading your message. The cycles that sometimes remove us from the opening act in our lives. Yeah, so I guess for me, I had been traveling through my life with this energy and with these, I call them psychic capacities, and I always say to people, I don't know, because I don't know, it's a mystery. I don't know why I astral travel. I don't know why the shaman keeps showing up. I don't know. And I don't profess to know. I think the truth is none of us know. We just live in the mystery every day and we do our best with it. So I was drawn to this place for this purpose. And I now finally am comfortable saying, yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. I'm here to provide a place for people who need to have a certain type of experience and healing and energy vibration. And I think there are lots of people around the world now they're coming forward visibly, spirit saying, because there are a lot of people who are meant to come and have their awakening, their karmic return, their energetic healing. Yeah, it feels brave to me, Darlene. Thank you for acknowledging. I think part of it maybe is the little bit of the Virgo stuff. It's like I don't need to exalt myself. I have an aversion to that, because Virgo people, most of them are pretty. They're just working behind the scenes. They're pretty quiet. Um, So, anyways, I'm going to launch for a minute with permission. Just indulge me because I think it's important to tell this story as part of my story. So, I love Libra people, and it was when Venus came back into Libra that I began to have a whole bunch of different kinds of epiphanies. But when I was looking at my own life and thinking about balance, and because it's my karmic return, the 18-year cycle, all that stuff. So in the beginning of 2018, my ex-husband, um, I became aware that he was having a serious challenge, and it just sort of percolate in me. And I think I became aware, and on the eclipse actually of 2017, he came to my house with my daughter and with a friend who I hadn't seen in over 10 years, to sort of watch the eclipse together and be together on that energetic day. And because I'm me, I knew. I was like, oh, what does this mean? Uh-oh, something's going on. What's going to happen now, right? So what was happening was the past was being eclipsed out. And the three souls, actually, it's interesting, it's four. So the four souls that were together that day, obviously, really karmically linked in various ways. So the past and the wounding of the past was beginning to be, Spirit saying karmically erased. So we had the eclipse day. It was really, part of what happens here is this place is a portal, I believe. And so when you step into the field of the energy, it still looks like you're here, but you're in a different spot. There's something that shifts. You step across into a different dimension, I guess. So I hadn't seen my ex in a long, long time, and the health problems that this person has had been evolving for a couple of years, and I was really shocked and frightened, um, concerned, all those things about what I was seeing. And, again, for privacy, I got to be a little careful about what I say. So I started asking my daughter, honey, what's going on with dad? Because, wow, something's really wrong. And she gave me a little bit of information. And then it was percolating inside of me. And, like most love stories, when we were in love, it was deep. And I don't think I do shallow. I don't think I don't have that capacity. So there was a lot of intense communication that happened between the two of us um, while our love bond was forming to pull us together in order to create this baby and bring forward Moonrise Cottage. That's our karmic story. That's what it was all about. Nothing else, right? So Spirit's laughing at me in the background, like, if only we knew what we're going to know in the beginning of a story, it would just help us so much. So Spirit's talking about perspective, and now that we've been through this Venus retrograde, help yourself ponder that when you're in relationship with somebody. So anyways, long story short, I said, gee, this person, because we're still connected to the same piece of land, I said, why don't you come to my house every morning and I'll make you breakfast? Because I personally needed to know that somebody was taking care of this person and that there was food going in and nutrition and calories and all that kind of stuff. So that started, and then in the heat of the winter, last winter, here in this place, it was horrifyingly bad. It was so cold. It was 30 below, and we kept having, the temperature would go up during the day. We'd have precipitation in the form of rain, and then the temperature would drop off, and then everything was frozen. So we were encased in ice, which, looking back, I find that really interesting too. For months, it was really difficult. So I was at my ex-husband's house, which is right around the corner, country corner, every night for months, making sure that the wood stove was going and that he wasn't freezing to death, and then cooking meals, and just kind of evolved from there. So anyways, this arrangement went forward and sort of got formalized eventually. And what has happened is the family has, including me, I was watching it happen, getting an incredible healing. My daughter was 3 years old when I left her dad, and I have always felt some sadness inside of me about the fact that, we did our best to maintain a family unit for many years, and he used to come over and have dinner, we'd hang out and stuff, to sort of encapsulate the wound in a way and put it aside, say, all right, we're a family, we want this child to have the benefit of knowing that we can interact with each other and we love her and all that stuff. So eventually time went on, and that kind of shifted and changed, as it should have, I suppose. And then this sort of rejoining happened. And, people were looking at me like, are you out of here? Like, what are you doing now? Why are you doing this? And the only answer I had was, because my heart wants to. And I cannot watch this person suffer and do nothing. And I'm right here. And by the way, Moonrise Cottage wouldn't exist without him. And it's true. He had nothing to do with bringing it forward physically, but it was his energy that drew me to this spot. And so I believe there's a really deep karmic soul, soulmate kind of thing joining. So over this, since January, I've been very deeply involved in helping this person. And it's tested me at times, as you can imagine. What I just realized, and it's going to sound silly, you guys, I experienced this human being as someone who was very disconnected and very unable, and I thought unwilling to really be in partnership with me. And you know what you go through when you're especially married to somebody, and suddenly you just feel like they're gone, right? Gone. So eventually I kind of said to myself, well, I'm Virgo, I'm grounded, and I'm fire, right? I want rapid motion, and I want it to be grounded. And if we're going to have a fire, if we're going to have scorched earth, bring it. Let's get it over with, right? So that sort of the way those two energies, the Spirit says, move together. So The person that I married is a Libra. I can't reach them. They're out there somewhere, right? So I began to have that awareness of, well, yeah, you got to kind of let it go because it was never going to work anyway. It had its own purpose. So here's what I've learned recently. I have had this epiphany about the fact that this person is on the spectrum. And it's not that they didn't love me, it's just they weren't available in the way that some people who have like Asperger's and things like that, they're just, it's a different way that they are able to relate and to express. And 25 years ago, I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that. And so I realized that um, the love that we had for each other and the love that this person had for me was really deep and profound. And the type of challenge that we had was unseen to us. And I do believe that things unfolded as they should, but the healing that's come to me because of the realization that I have of, oh, I didn't understand this person. I didn't understand what they were dealing with, nor did they, I don't think, that caused what seemed like a lack of presence. And it wasn't a lack of presence, it was just the way in which someone was able to be present. So, this year, and particularly Venus retrograde, has brought that kind of healing to me, and it's released me in a certain way. And it's brought to me another set of epiphanies about, oh, the challenges that we have as humans because of what we need for each other. And that's part of why my spirit guides talk about love relationships the way they do, right? And sort of cautioning everybody, just back away a little bit from the whole twin flame. Let's talk about it in a wider perspective. So it's another piece of understanding that I've come to, and it's brought an intense amount of healing to me and my family because I was willing, despite the past, to step forward and say, well, the past is the past. I just am going to be present because of the things I do know, and I don't understand the past. But that vision has come forward now, thankfully, and I just feel an incredible lightness of being because I realize how wrong I was. So that's a wonderful gift, and I'm hoping that you folks have experienced some of that as well through Venus in retrograde season. So there's that story. Thank you for being patient. Let me just look. Yeah. Ingrid, I'm ready. Oh, hi, Anna. Ingrid, I'm reading your message about eclipses. Hey, Tani. It's funny, Tani. Your spirit is still so much in this house, and we have continued to communicate in the astral realm. I don't know if you've been hearing it. I've been, Tani came here and helped open the portal to step forward into the next phase of development for Moonrise Cottage. So we'll always be bonded. And I haven't been in touch with Tani since she left here. So Tani, I love you. And when you and Wally left, things remained, the energy in the house remained really intense, and the portal was wide open, and I have just been in there. Spirits, I've just been in that place. I haven't been very communicative, so I apologize for that. And now this next person has stepped into the energy trail that you left, that you opened, and so Spirit wants you to know that. So I'm looking forward to having some communication. I'm wondering how you are and what's been going on with you. Love you too, Connie. And there's a love coming to you from Moonrise Cottage. So I'm going to close that little chapter. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to pour out my heart learning, and it feels really significant to me. And I believe that that's what the retrograde is for. Just review, figure out what you've realized. Maybe Spirit says, maybe write it down, understand how it is these things are being rectified and healed, and the intense type of healing that is available here. It'll be my absolute pleasure to care for you in that way and bring you to the next place of your development. So while I've been in here percolating and getting ready, which I still don't have total clarity on, Spirit now wants me to start doing love readings. So I got a bunch of new decks, and Tani, you'll understand this. So I got these decks. I'm very excited about them. One of them is brand new. It's just been published. I'm going to show it to you. It's called the Mystical Shaman Oracle. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? You know what? I gotta switch over so I can see if you can see. There you go. Okay. So there's a little bit of delay now in the screen. But Alberto Villadolo, Colette Baron Reed, and Marcela Lobos. It's a fabulous, the deck itself is incredibly powerful. And so what I did actually was the cards came, and I also got a really ancient deck, which I'm not ready to use yet. It's really intense. So the cards came, and I took them upstairs, and I slept with them in my bed for about 2 weeks. And I kept saying, well, I'm going to start next week. No, this is on its own schedule. So I don't know if I'm waiting maybe till the retrograde is over, because there are some new messages, I think, that are coming out as we go forward. But I would like to show you the deck and play with it a little bit. Would you guys like to do that? I'll pull a couple of cards, and we'll just talk about Moonrise Cottage and the new journey that's coming forward, because a lot of you folks are coming here, apparently. Tanya, you're saying, oh yeah, I'm just reading your message. Well, Tanya, you know what? I started doing the live stream today, and my streaming software got all mucked up. Something happened. Mercury's in retrograde, right, for a couple days now, and oh my God. So I had to stop the stream, and then eventually what I had to do was I had to literally unload that. So I had to delete that software from my computer, upload a new version, figure out how to work that, and then I was able to figure out why nobody was able to see me. So I fixed it. I'm not sure how I did it, but again, I look at these things as there's a little bit of message in there as well, right? Time for the old to go, so that the new vision and the new way of being present and being able to be seen, which is the lesson that is happening for me. Time for me to step out and own pieces of myself publicly that I have been hiding for many, many years because I just wasn't ready. So, yeah, sleep is the fundamental of healing. So, yeah, Tani, yeah, of course, right? So, anyway, so I shuffled the deck, and I thought, we'll take it out. Spirit says, we'll take it out for a ride today. So I shuffled the deck, and I split the deck to get ready to, hang on, I want to make sure that I'm doing this in the viewfinder. There we go. To get ready to, Spirit's calling this deck a Cadillac. This is a powerful deck, like the one I've been using. So we're coming into a new time. It's time for me to have some new decks because some things are changing, right? So I shuffled a little bit, and then I got ready to split the deck, and here's what's in the middle of the split. Can you guys see that? Isn't the artwork beautiful? So I thought, yeah, there you go. That's the Aries side of my nature, right there. So let's shuffle and pull some cards, okay? What I'm trying to decide, okay, I'm getting a little nod from Spirit. I'm trying to decide if, I know what Spirit wants to talk about when it comes to love relationships. I'm going to do a little bit of the traditional stuff, even though there's a part of me that just, I don't know. I don't want to go that way, but I will. Because I think that people are going to need it. Okay, I'm getting a big nod from my spirit guides. People are really going to need it in a way that is new and different. So we'll see how it evolves. I'm going to let it evolve on its own. So I'm going to be very self-indulgent, and I'm going to pull a couple of cards about Moonrise Cottage and what's meant to come forward here now that I'm willing to talk about some of the things that I've been holding secret for a long time, for lots of reasons. Okay, so there's some chatter coming through. Part of it is that, I didn't used to tell people. Things would just happen, and journeys would happen, and I just would go along, and my spirit guides would ask me, and sometimes the spirit guides of the people that I was journeying with would be communicating with me and say, hey, can you just, could you do this? This is what needs to happen. This is the energy that person needs. Can you channel some of that for us? And I can, so I would do that, and I think it's just time for that to be really out in the open, partly because we're going to be so receptive to that going forward. All of us, Spirit says. Our awareness of stepping through, stepping into the energy stream that is coming through the circuit of the tapestry. If you've been following along, you understand what that means because of the way my spirit guides talk. Okay. There you go. Love it. Okay. So, interestingly enough, the sorcerer in this deck is about the dark side, the shadow side, and about releasing what is meant to be released, kind of like that love story that I was talking about with my ex-husband, and and the spirit wounding that happened here on the 11th, when that person was aligned with that type of energy inside themselves. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously it's okay. Here you go. There's the next split. Do you see what I'm talking about? So the crow energy, deep within me. I think my whole entire life I had to grow into it because it's really intense to be able to do that kind of astral travel and to shake the rattle and be the conduit and bring the energy forward. So, I've been worried. I've been kind of stressing, I have to say, about, how do I say these things about myself? How do I announce it? What am I? So I'm hoping in a very, there you go. So Spirit's not letting me off the hook. Okay, it's one of the things that's true about me. And I do my best. Okay. Spirit wants me to talk about crow medicine. All right, so, in the Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck. Okay, I'm supposed to tell the story. So, for those of you who haven't seen it, in one of my live streams, I talked about oh my God. Okay. And look, a sacred place to go and release things. So clearly that's the mission of this place. It's been coming on for 18 years, and it's time. It's just time. So I have to be brave, and I have to, I'm just going to show you all the splits. I have to be willing to step out. And I think we all do. It's time to declare ourselves and the things that we know and the things that we feel. So, wow. There you go. Look at that. It's always backwards. It's been 2 years. I still haven't mastered this piece of it. What the heck? So we have the circle, which I think is talking about, Spirit's talking about the tapestry. Okay, all right. So you know what? This new version of the software, there's a delay. That's a little challenging. But there we go. That's the tapestry. And it is the circle of souls that are meant to come here to experience each other and to experience yourself in this way of, what a sweat lodge is for, right? Going into a portal for a purpose with yourself and with your soul. And Spirit's been telling me, do these, have these visits set up that it's aligned with the new moon and the full moon, and then there are going to be obviously some dates in which we'll have some special group. Okay, Spirit's calling them meetings. Okay, like when Tani and Wally came here to literally, because they were meant, and I believe this 100% because of what happened here over that weekend, they were meant to come here and help me and be with me because of their energy set points in order to activate and open the portal here and prepare it for people to come and help prepare me because I've been feeling a little Spirit saying what would happen is I would sink into the Virgo part of my nature and go, oh, I don't know, talk about myself that way, and I just kind of over it now. So that I love. There's Spirit talking about the cycles of the moon. Okay. Um. Okay. So, all right. Spirit saying, hang on a second. Okay. Of course, like the Celtic Wisdom Tarot card, these cards have their own preset meaning. And I'm going to use them in a dual way. I'm going to learn the cards, but I'm mostly going to use them to channel for my spirit guides, to give them a way to get the messages out. Okay. So, Spirit wanted me to talk about the crow medicine. So, on the day when I decided that I was going to engage with this energy in a very active way and begin the process of, Spirit's calling it unleashing myself. As some of you know who saw the live stream I did about that, a shaman came in the form of a dowser. And the crow medicine started, and a crow followed me 7 or 8 miles from the center of town all the way out here. And I didn't know, but the shaman was driving behind me and he saw it. So he knew there was something going on, and a whole 3-day ceremony happened. And then when we were standing here in the circle of the place where I had picked for the house, there's a giant flock of crows that lived nearby, and they came and sat in a circle in the treetops around me while I was having my, Spirit saying it was my first initiation ceremony. So the crow medicine, shamanism, is something that's been traveling with me. I believe it's what I came in with. Like the shaman who was just here, also somebody who's a member of the bird clan people of shamans. And it is about being able to go back and forth to the mystical realm and, in a sense, being here in this reality, carrying that medicine, carrying that energy, and so sort of being a little bit one foot in each place all the time. And that is truly how I feel much of the time. So when that happened, and I then had a very long 24-hour initiation, public initiation ceremony. The symbols that came to me were the runes, and I didn't even know in those days. And I don't know if you can see it on this mask, and you've seen them on my house. Okay, so that's, do you see that? Okay, that's the symbol of the warrior, right? And if I can turn that, there's that. It's on each side. And then, oops, all right, pardon me, it's new software. So these are the symbols that came through. I didn't even know what they were. And they are now carved into the outside of my house. When the house started being built, I just knew they had to be there because I knew this place was going to be a portal of some kind. I didn't totally understand it. So those things transpired. I had those ceremonies, these mystical things. The minute I said yes, and that's part of the message. The moment I said yes, I did my own private ceremony, and I said, okay, I don't understand it, and I'm really scared, so help me. Because I'm just a white lady, right? I'm just a middle-class white lady. I don't know why this is happening. But okay, I've been traveling with this energy my whole life. I've been having all these experiences, so whatever it is you want me to do, my answer is yes. Just help me because I'm really scared. Because I don't know anybody else who has these experiences. I don't know what to do with this. Quite honestly, I can feel the intention that's embedded in it. A couple days later, after I had my initiation ceremony and the symbols came, I think I was looking, I started actively looking to figure out what those symbols meant. And I was driving down the road, and I had bought a truck because I was going to be building and I was going to be doing a lot of the work. And I thought, well, you got to get rid of your car. You need a truck. So I was driving down the road in my truck, and there was a raven in the road, like they often do. You know, you see crows and ravens and they're picking at the carrion. That's why the Queen of Battle is aligned with that notion, you know, from the Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck. And it got hit by a car and killed. And I immediately turned around, drove home, and got a shovel and came back, and I picked that bird up and put it in the back of my truck. And I went home and I went into the woods and I had a really sacred ceremony, and I literally dismembered it myself. And I took the wings off and I took the beak off and I took the claws off and burned what was not going to be needed and gave thanks for that. And I put it on the mask that I had made during those ceremonies and painted it black and put the symbols on it. And I think the intuitive part of me knew. And all right, Spirit's talking to me telling me to, for those of you that don't know, hang on. This is the other tarot deck that I got. It's really intense. If you don't know anything about this deck, check it out. It's going to take me a minute, I think, because this is really ancient. It's based on the ancient Egyptian types of knowing. It's awesome. All right, so Spirit wants me to read to you from this book. I don't know why you want me to talk about this, but okay, I need my glasses back. All right, page 103. So this rune is, I'll show you with the book. Can you see that? Earth? Nope, going the wrong way again. All right, there's something different about this software now in terms of the camera angle. There you go. That's Perth. And it is about hidden matters. And, oh my gosh. I'm going to have to relearn this all over again. I had just mastered the other one. I don't know why we can't see it. There we go. It's about initiation and things that are hidden in secret matters. So I believe that things unfolded the way they did because the purpose of this place and the purpose of my energy is to help reveal the secret matters that are needing to be revealed and the healing that needs to happen, and to be a guide and to be someone who accompanies with a certain type of energy that flows through me for you that I can transmit to you. And the fact that we are in this moment of the 18-year cycle, the karmic return, and all this is being revealed, and I'm ready to step out and say, okay, here I am. I've been put here for you. That's what I understand about it. And it feels really wonderful. I get all choked up because the energy, it's what we would call love energy that streams through me. That's how I identify it. It's much deeper than that, Spirit says. We're going to talk about that in 2019. Okay. So this is a hierarchy or a mystery rune. And it is pointing to that which is beyond our frail human manipulative powers. Perth is on the side of heaven, the unknowable. Okay, Spirit's telling me. All right, the reading has kind of assembled itself through the cards, so I'm just going to hold it up, okay? So this has to do, I think, with Perth and the fact that it's part of what brought this place forward. Is that I was willing to say yes and be the initiate and step into the mystery, even though I had no idea and 10,000 doubts. Okay. So it is associated with the Phoenix, Ingrid. That's what Spirit's been talking with me about. I'm going to say a few words about this stuff, and then I'm going to end for the day because I hadn't planned to go really long. And of course I am because I'm a chatty Cathy. So there we go. Okay, so the Phoenix consumes itself in fire and then rises from its own ashes. Its ways are secret and hidden. And I don't know that that's a picture of the Phoenix, but this is about, Spirit says it's my story. It's the story of Moonrise Cottage, right? The Earth Keeper. So powerful forces of change are at work. What is achieved is not easily or readily shared. And so that's been part of the reason I've been hesitating, I think, because I've always felt like, well, what do I say? If I have anything to say about this experience that I've been having and the way that Spirit has been causing me to be existing and to develop, it's this. That's what I experience, right? When it comes to myself. And Spirit's talking about our ability as a collective now coming through the tapestry activation to experience this all together and to experience our group energy in a new way. So, so this stands at the heart, this rune stands at the heart of initiation. Nothing external matters except as it shows you your inner reflection. So Spirit just wanted me to read a little bit of that passage. And talk a little bit about Moonrise Cottage. Okay, so I'm just going to go forward using the old pattern. I think a new one is going to emerge, but that's the message from the spirit guides. Okay, the Earth Keeper. And then the card that indicates this place and my presence here as it relates to being available to you is this, the Andean Cross. Okay. The next card out, I'm just going to do 4. Okay. Next card out is this, the lower world, the secret realm, obviously, the crow medicine realm, the mystical realm. This is what Spirit's talking about. And then the last one is this, the ancient ones, which is the feeling that one of the things that I knew on the day that I was here and the shaman showed up was this place is really ancient. There's something about ancient energy and ancient spirit beings and spirit guides, etc., that come through this place, and it wanted to be activated. And I knew the feeling that I had was that there was something that used to happen here a long, 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 long time ago. And it was time for that to rise back up to the surface. And it was going to happen through some human intervention. And that was my karma. 18 years ago, right? So here I am. And here's the outcome card. Okay. Spirit's talking about shaking the tree, shaking up the energy and activating it. And then on the bottom of the deck, once again, interesting, we got this again, and then this. So that, Spirit says, that's sufficient in terms of the story of Moonrise Cottage. And the only thing I don't like about this new deck, hang on a second, let me see if I can find the book. The book is very disappointing. I think it's Spirit saying it's one of the reasons that I was pointed in this direction. Because the book is just, I find it to be a little bit, first of all, you don't get the full color. Illustrations are not in the book like they are in the Celtic Wisdom. My gosh. And it's, as you can tell, I'm having a hard time opening it. All right. Come on. Goodness gracious. All right. Hang on. What did I do with it? I know this table. Here it is. Okay. So I'm just going to flip open and just show you so you'll know in case you're thinking about getting it. See that? Isn't that sad? I want to see the paintings. Darn it all. Okay, so each one of these cards has a number on it. Okay, and then you have to flip through the book to find it and read it. And there's just things about this book that I don't like. That's one of them. I don't like the way it's arranged. But I love the cards. And I want to thank the spirits that brought this forward and the collaboration that came together in order to bring these cards forward. It's fabulous. I love it. It's a really powerful deck. So the spirit guide message is card number 18. It's the Earth Keeper. So let me, I'm just going to flip to that page. It's one of the reasons I think I don't like it is it's not very straightforward. It's a little bit cumbersome. Let's see. I don't know how they did this, but one of the things I do like about this book is that, so this card is number 18, and the, 18 again. Interesting. And it's on page 36. So somehow magically they figured out how to do this so that the numbers double. There's some numerology built into this deck. I think it's part of what makes it powerful. Okay, so the Earth Keeper. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement, and you are ready to dream big, with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations, and that's certainly what I've been experiencing. So take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need with whom you may not have been in touch for some time. Grow the sacred dream, and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. So I like that. That's the spirit theme of the message. And then the next card that came out was Andean Cross. So let's see if I can find this. It's number 2. Okay, Andean Cross. Like it. It should be, if the book follows along the way, I think it should be on page 4. And yes, it is. Okay, the Andean Cross represents the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the 4 cardinal directions. Let me see if I can hold this up. The upper and the lower worlds, and the steps to reach these realms. The hole in the center is a gateway to interdimensional travel, the proverbial eye of the needle that we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom, and to break free of linear time. And you know what? Actually, I was just talking about linear time. So it's late and I've been talking a lot, so maybe that's another live stream. I'm not going to talk about it today. So the Andean Cross announces the start to a great journey. It's time to raise your gaze from the mundane, day to day, to that which until now has seemed beyond your grasp. So we're all going, and it's why I've been activated. It's why Spirit pushed me into YouTube, because I would have been content to hide here in my little house forever, all by myself, just waiting for strangers to show up at the door, which was kind of how I was doing it. And my spirit guides are like, no, not anymore. You got to buck up, Buck. Time for you to step up. So I believe really it's happening for all of us, because we are moving across into different realms, and that's what the 4D and the 5D and the twin flame and the epic love stories and the soulmates. We're all finding past, Spirit saying past lovers. That's interesting. Maybe that's why Spirit wants me to do love readings. I'll figure it out. I haven't yet. I'm just waiting. So I was sort of, the Aries part of me was eager to go forward because Spirit gave me a job to do, but I think I'm just going to take this time of retrograde to bless myself with oh, they're saying yes. Okay. So after the 5th of December, that will go forward. Okay. We'll just wait until the retrograde is over and use it for our own purposes. Okay. It's time to allow new wisdom to guide you and stop trying to make sense of it all. Oh, absolutely. There you go. That's me. Before you respond with a resounding yes. So that's me for sure, and maybe reflective of all of us. So the next card is 31. It's called Lower World. There it is. The lower world holds the hidden treasures of humanity. It is a place of rich and fruitful darkness, where we can find the disowned parts of ourselves and the abandoned aspects of our psyches. The lower world is the place of our ancestors, where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of collective unconscious. It is here that we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy. It is time to unearth your hidden treasures. Do not make yourself small in order for others to like or accept you. Bring out the gems and the precious stones that you've kept inside your heart, hidden even from yourself. It is time to honor your past and recast your life as a heroic quest. Because, and I hope you all know this, it absolutely is. I mean, I've been able to sort of see my life that way. I didn't for many years. And I think this thing that I was talking about, this Venus retrograde, where I got to recast and reframe everything that had happened that brought me to this place and the human being that I was connected with karmically, and come to love and accept that person in a way I never have, ever. And the healing that came from that. So I hope you're all having similar types of journeys, okay? So you will be offered all the gifts of your ancestors. Their struggles, the way they hurt, the way they lived, and the way they died. And all of these things will become blessings. So that's really beautiful. And then the next card is the Ancient Ones. God, it's kind of freaky, guys, because there is a delay now with this new software. When I had to delete it and re-upload, I chose to do the most recent one. So it's a little different. So there we are, the Ancient Ones. Okay, that's the first card in the deck. Theoretically, should be on page 2. I like that they figured this out numerologically. Yes, indeed. They did. Okay, so the Ancient Ones. The Ancient Ones are the shamans of old, who defeated death and escaped from the tyranny of time. The Ancient Ones walked the earth like us in flesh and bone, and now they reside in infinity and can counsel us after we say yes to our calling. They are available to help us attain our full realization. The Ancient Ones are inviting you to reach to the future, to help birth a new destiny for the earth. Okay, I'm getting all choked up. Go ahead, find out who you are becoming 10,000 years from now. Really, when I get choked up, it's because the energy streams into me from the spirit world, and it always activates my heart chakra, and then it rises through the chakra. What happens is I have a little kundalini thing that happens. It starts in my heart chakra and rises through the throat and up, and part of that for me is always I get choked up and tears well up in my eyes because it's such intense energy. If you accept this invitation, great power and blessings will come your way and allow you to craft a new destiny for yourself. Do not hesitate to bite off more than you can chew, because you have unlimited spiritual resources available in these moments. Okay? And the outcome card is the rattle. Beautiful. Page 43. Hang on a second. Okay. The rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills in a desired destiny her future. Closing with the prayer, Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our own personal needs. When we offer these prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit, but be careful, they are very sharp and can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. It is time to set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is a time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. So there you go. That's my reading for me in my sort of stepping out journey, and for Moonrise Cottage. I'm in my viewfinder, so I'm gonna toggle back to the chat. Let me see. I just read your question, India. Oh, a Thunderbird. I saw that. Isn't that amazing? And there's some other things that came out through this reading. Yeah, so I've been really quiet. Thank you for being patient with me. As you know, I didn't really post anything in October. I really allowed myself to be pulled into the deep because I knew it was time, and my spirit guides have been pushing me. So I think this message was for all of us. Clearly, it's responding to the decisions that I'm making, having been released from things in the past that were holding me back, and from my fear of being who I am. And it doesn't, Spirit saying, we sort of have to get over it now. And I think that whoever I was in a past lifetime, I've seen some of them, and I've had visions about some of it. And I've been traveling back and forth to the mystical realm, I think, many times in terms of incarnations. And so I've picked up a lot of stuff, and I'm just here, and I showed up the way I showed up for whatever reasons. Maybe by the end of my life, I'll understand that. It seems a little odd to me. But part of it, I think, is to force us into this type of introspection and to be able to accept ourselves and our true identity And the person that came here last weekend, was it last weekend? I think. And you know that thing about linear time? Oh, it's a challenge for me because really, on many levels, it doesn't exist. I don't know what day it is. I only know what time it is because of what the sky looks like, things like that. And I don't care about it because I know that things happen when they're meant to, and I do my best to ride the wave of that energy so that I can fulfill whatever my mission is. Having stepped into my purpose, my energy, and being willing to come out of the closet and say, don't know why I'm here as a middle class white lady, showing up with all the shamanistic stuff, but here I am. So I love you. There's so much love. My wish for everybody is that you could feel and see what I feel and see, and that alone would change the world. So I'm inviting you to come and be with me. I just added shamanistic retreats to my website, so do me a favor, would you please go to my website and check it out. In order to come here and have a journey with me, I do ask people to have at least one reading because I need to know you. I need to understand your energy. It's very important before you arrive, Spirit says, for all kinds of reasons. So going forward, I'm going to continue to do my YouTube journey until, Spirit says, until it's time for that to stop. I think there's an end point to that. In the meantime, schedule your reading. Do me a favor, you guys, the like button, apparently there's something magical about that. Spirit says I need to start asking people to hit the like button. All right, so I think it makes the videos wider, get propped up in the algorithm or something. But I'm here and I'm ready, and send me a message through the website. When this finally turns to a video, I'll post all that stuff below the video. Okay, so thank you for your presence, because it is your presence and your energy that helps me to come forward in the way that I've been meant to do. And the love energy that streams between us and the effects of the tapestry, all those things. A lot going on in 2019. So let's see. Oh, live stream. Okay. A little commercial. All right. So the live stream, folks, there's a way to support the channel by buying a live stream membership, which two things. Anyone who bought a live stream membership a year ago, when I was getting ready to go to Ireland, I was making a plea for financial help, and a lot of people bought a live stream membership or made a donation to the channel. So if you did that, you can apply whatever money you gave to me to a reading or a visit or a healing session or anything that you choose. Go to the website and check it out. Send me a message and let me know so that we can schedule whatever service it is that you need, and I will give you a discount. I'm going to have to do that manually, okay? Because I was stumbling along. As you know, I'm not a techie. I don't know how all this stuff works. So now I'm really just wanting to give back in energetic ways and other ways. So that's one way I can do that. And the folks who are current live stream members from last year, there is an exclusive offer that you guys got via email, if you didn't let me know, to have a discounted rate for the shamanic journey that's going to happen here on the solstice. All right, and I think the discount period for that ends at 11 o'clock tonight. No, tomorrow. Okay, through the 19th at 11 to get a little bit of a discount. So I am continuing to work on the things that are meant to happen going forward. I'm going to have some announcements. They're not ready yet. Making changes to the website. There's going to be the current live stream period is ending, so I'm going to ask people to continue to support the channel that way. And what I just said is going to always be true. So that if you buy a live stream membership, it'll give you exclusive access to different types of live streams that I'm going to do that are going to be just for the people who are really part of the tapestry in terms of actively knowing that they want to be involved this way, to support the channel and to get the channel messages that come through me. So that will start probably again. I'm going to wait till after the retrograde because I want all of this to pass off and be done. So I'll put a little video when the time comes about that. And anything that you donate to the channel or the live stream membership, which I think is going to be $50 going forward, maybe 49, I'm not sure, something like that, um, will be money that will come back to you in terms of same thing. You can just say, okay, this is how much I donated, and I'd like to have a reading, and so that will be discounted off the price of whatever it is you're seeking. Okay, so Spirit just wanted me to start announcing that. So I would love to have whoever's meant to be here. Spirit's calling them out, saying, okay, if you're feeling drawn to come here, the next opportunity is on the solstice, and there are several people who are meant to be here for that. And so remember, when you come to Moonrise Cottage, it is about yourself. It's about your journey. It's about having a particular type of really quiet, loving, gentle healing and guidance. And the act of doing that moves the collective forward and the tapestry because of the vibration that comes from that generally in this place, but also when you return back to your day-to-day life. It's a profound thing to do. So I'm looking forward to discovering who it is that's going to be here with me. I already know a little bit about that. So I'm just letting you know. If you're not a member of the live stream community, Monday, Tuesday, it'll be open for general public to send me a message and say, yes, I want to be there. But I felt like I needed to make it available exclusively, in a sense, to live stream folks for the first go around. Okay? So, gang, thank you so much. Darlene, love right back to your primary feathers, sending you a heart. India. Yeah, India, I'm reading your messages. Darlene, thank you. That was a beautiful reading. Mark, hi. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Oh, you guys, thank you. You know, we're just all meant to come out of the closet. We just are. It's not easy for me, but I'm encouraging you to go for it. And if you need to figure out, how to do that and heal your wounds or whatever's holding you back, spirit guides are inviting you to come here because I'm ready now. Right? I'm finally ready to say, okay, this is what's real for me. What do you experience in the mystical realm? And I know we all do. So I think that's part of what's coming forward as we go into this preparation period to step into these energies that are part of the new realms that we're moving into, and that we call that, human beings are calling that, the internet calls that 4D and 5D, and there's a lot of information about that. And so I think the next live stream is going to be about what we experience when that begins to happen for us. And I think what I understand about myself at this point is that began to happen for me a long time ago. And I didn't know that that's what I was experiencing. So I want to share some of that with all of you because some of it's not easy. And there's a certain type of what we interpret as sadness or depression that can happen when you start to move across and have the ability to go back and forth between 3D and 4D and 5D. So I want to speak to that in a shamanistic way, just so you guys know. I don't want it to be so hard for everybody. It was hard for me. So anyways, yeah, it's time for me to stop talking. Thanks, everybody. I really love you. And Mark, I got your email. Lunch. We're on. Let's do it. Okay, let's make a plan. I really would love to. And you can show me around New York City a little bit because I'm afraid to come there because I'm a country mouse. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. And Mark Hammond is a fabulous author. He's got an incredible story. And Mark, I am brewing a fantasy, a desire about you and I doing a live stream together and talking about the experience that you are having about being in touch with the other realm and the people there and the books that you have written. So you guys go to Google, go to Amazon, put Mark Hammond in there and find the books that he has written and purchase them because, wow, it's an amazing epic tale. Okay, so thanks everybody for being loving and supportive. and being with me while I have my stepping out ceremony here on YouTube. I'll talk to you soon. And I don't know. Spirit's telling me next week live stream. I don't know because there's a lot going on, so I'll think about it. Um, oh, one more thing. I am going to be in Florida in starting the 8th of December. I'm going to be in St. Augustine area. If there's anybody out there that lives in that general place that wants to actually get a personal live reading from me face to face, this is your moment. So hit me up with an email. Okay, go to my website, click contact, and let me know. We'll arrange. I don't know all the details, but I'll find a place to do those readings. I'm probably only going to want to do 4, maybe 5, because I'm going to see one of my twin flames. So I'm looking forward to that, a whole week together. And there's a fun thing, Ingrid, this is for you, okay? So this person that I'm going to see has changed my life, the presence of this person. And we just, you guys, I don't have to describe, right? Just an enormous amount of love flowing between us. And she says to me, well, what you experienced, she's 100% right. She said, you've been experiencing 5D and twin flame and whatever. Always. It's just part of how you walk through the earth. And what that means is that you're not a twin flame. You're polyflamorous. So she wants me to make t-shirts that say something about that. And Ingrid, Spirit is telling me, Spirit wants you to make the artwork for that. So you guys ponder that. She says that it should say something about Moonrise Cottage and then say polyflamorous, and on the back say flame on, or some kind of funny, just, So think about that. Maybe we could have some fun designing t-shirts about the Moonrise Cottage experience and being polyflamorous, which is why Spirit kind of poo-poos the twin flame thing. Not that it's not a real thing. I think it is, but it has to be reframed, I think, in a certain way. So flame on, you guys. Enjoy the retrograde. And I'll be looking forward to speaking with all of you. Marie Antoinette, I'm going to look at your email because Spirit wants us to have a Skype session. Okay? I love you, and I'll look forward to being with you again. And thank you for being patient and listening to me chatter, listening to my spirit guides that are saying thank you. All right? So have a lovely Sunday afternoon, everybody. I'll talk to you whenever the next time is, Spirit says. Okay? So kissing you goodbye and clicking the button to disconnect, Spirit says. Until next time. All right. Ride the energy. We will be together always, Spirit says. Okay. You like that, Ingrid? Okay. Yeah. Polyflamorous. Flame on, you guys. I'll look forward, I think, next week, probably. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye. I'm going to take a picture of the cards and put that on the thumbnail so you guys can see the reading, okay?